Hello and welcome to Travel Daily's IWTA series, Inspirational Women in Travel Asia. My name is Kijkanakorn and I am the co-founder and chairperson of the IWTA committee. And I'm here today with the beautiful Anchalika Kijkanakorn, the managing director and founder of the AKARYN Hotel Group. Hello, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you start off by telling us what the AKARYN Hotel Group, what it is? What do you do?
It's a small boutique luxury hotel owner and service provider. So within the group currently we have 4 hotels, 2 of which we own, the AKARYN Pranbury and AKARYN Phuket Phanga. And we're managing 2 other hotels on behalf of the owners, which is the Akira Thong Lo in Bangkok and the Akira Manor Chiang Mai. We're opening another hotel in Chiang Mai early next year, which is going to be called the AKARYN Retreat Chiang Mai. So that's really exciting. I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what made you start this hotel group?
We started in 2003 when I've decided to retired from my my previous life in finance, and I decided to come home and open a small little bed and breakfast, I thought, and then I could retire on the beach. And I think that was because I didn't really know very much about travel industry. So I'm still trying to retire 16 years after.
That's hilarious. And because you were in real estate, commercial real estate and finance before them for quite a while, right?
I was working so out of school. I was hired out of school in the late 90s by GE Capital. And they sent, so I went into GE Capital and started working for them in Singapore. And I was there for 2 years. And then they sent me over to the US, where I was doing a lot of different things within the audit staff, traveling for about 3 years. And then they sent me after that to London. And then I was working for them in Europe for a long time, 6 or 7 years, quite a long time. London, Cologne, in Germany, and in Belgium, everywhere. Yeah.
So is that where the seed for travel might have been born, like, because they were sending you to all of these amazing places to live and work?
Yeah. I've always loved traveling. I think it was because when I was very, very young, I wanted to explore the world, and living in Thailand at the time didn't have a lot of opportunity. So when I was able to go out and explore the world, I just didn't look back, and I just kept going. I think one of the things that really formed the way I traveled a lot was when I was traveling with GE, where there was a couple of years during the audit staff where I actually literally didn't have an apartment. I had a pigeonhole in Connecticut and a rollerboard and a small little suitcase where my whole life is in there. I lived like that for 3 years. So I could literally walk into any DoubleTree, Hyatt, Hilton, Marriott and know exactly where everything is, and I didn't even have to open my eyes. And that's how I actually know that when I go traveling on my own or my personal time, that's not where I want to go. I want to go somewhere a little bit different. And the second thing that really formed the way I prefer to travel is when I was living in the UK, where I had a little Bible. That was the beginning before the internet. I don't know if you remember that, but I used to have a little guidebook, and it's called Special Places.
Yes.
And I remember it was by Alistair Soddy, and I used to be my Bibles every weekend. I would open this book and say, okay, I want to go there. And it's bed and breakfast everywhere in the UK. And it's lovely. And it's always this, a mom and pops, and the lady would be the lady that welcome you, and the husband would be the one that probably cook breakfast for you and tell you where to go. And it's really always very personalized and beautiful, full of character places to visit. And to me, that's that's the kind of places that I like to go. And so when I decided to come home, having been away for a long time by that time, I wanted to do something like that. And then I started with, so we have a family house in Pranbury on the seaside in Thailand. So I asked my parents, my family, if we could do something like that there. And they supported me. And I remember really clearly, it was the beginning of the internet. So I didn't even know how to market this, or that you have to have a travel agency. I just built a website, and it was 2003, build a website and take good pictures and put it on there. And before you know it, it was full. It was really full, because people were looking for a place that is different and not a cookie cutter kind of hotel. Because, back then when people were asking me, where should we stay when we come and visit Thailand? And I couldn't think of a place that I would actually like to stay. There are plenty of places to stay in Thailand, but it wouldn't be when I spend my personal time. I would look for something a little bit different, a little bit full of character, a little bit special. And that's what I wanted to build. Yeah. And so that's how we started.
And then how did you go from doing that with your family house to now have a hotel group?
Well, because I was used to the nice income that I used to get from working in an executive position in a multinational company. And then I realized really fast that at the time, my first hotel was 10 rooms, that it wasn't enough. And then the old habit dies hard. So then you start thinking about how to expand, what you need to do in order to acquire a new property, build it. It was a real estate project management exercise, financing that I learned that was being used again in the new life. And so then we started in 2006. We opened the second Alinta Phuket Phanga, which is on the coast of Andaman Sea, beautiful beach that we scouted out after the first year that we opened Alinta Pranbury, and it was really successful. So we looked for another piece of land to do the second hotel.
Amazing.
Yeah. From there, a lot of the owners, a lot of the people who want to have hotels contacted me. So that's when we started the AKARYN Manor in Chiang Mai, which belongs to a Singaporean family. And we've been working with them for a long time now. It's a very successful hotel. It's doing really well, actually, right now. It's crazy. And the AKARYN Thonglor in Bangkok used to be Pan Pacific. The owner wanted to do something different and asked us to rebrand. So we did that 6 years ago. And then now, with all the different things that happened during the last couple of years, Alinta has always been Alinta Resort and Spa. So we've always had spa inside the hotel, but we're now offering a little more and more wellness program inside the hotel. And so the new hotel that we're opening in Chiang Mai is going to be really focused on retreat and wellness program.
And that's opening next year.
Next year in February. Yeah.
And how did you get through the challenging time of the last 2.5 years when the world stood still?
Oh my God. How did I get through? Different hotels that we have fare differently. But it's really, to get through something like this has to be with the support of the owner, the right team that work within the hotel, the owner support, consistency of their support, because we got to get through this. And, at some point you're going to come out on the other side. But during the time, it was really kind of bleak. But I'm really happy to say that the AKARYN Thonglor did really well. We didn't even have a negative GOP, not one month. And that was because we had the long stay and we were able to grow the long stay. during the COVID years. Right now we're reducing the number of long stay and to try to get back the FIT, but it's doing really amazingly well. So and this is really the support of the owner as well. The Akira Chiang Mai was struggling quite a lot for the during the COVID year, because of course it's very difficult to travel to Chiang Mai because you have to fly from Bangkok. And but the team was there. The owner has been amazingly supportive. They love the hotel, they love the team, they took care of everybody, and that was great. My own personal hotel, we were able to relocate different staff to different things and different tasks. And luckily, the one near Bangkok, the AKARYN, we almost didn't close. We maybe closed for 1 month, and then the whole time we were open, and we've had the best 2 years since we opened during the COVID year, because everybody in Bangkok, nobody could go anywhere, and a lot of people with a lot of money in Thailand have nowhere else to go, so they go to Hua Hin, Pattaya. So I think these places where it's easy to get to from Bangkok are doing really, really well, and we were even able to pivot fast enough to local market, and we were doing really well. Alinta Phuket pivot toward quarantine hotel and luxury quarantine. So we worked on the quality, not the quantity, and so we were able to get through the 2 years. I personally learned how to bake. I didn't know that everybody in the world was baking as well, but I thought that I was, I think we're all connected somehow in here, somehow on a wavelength somewhere. But I was baking, and I didn't know everybody was baking sourdough. I'm baking sourdough when I'm making, and so now we have a bakery in Alinta Pranbury, and I taught my team to make bread. So now we have bakery.
Wow. I must have missed that memo. I did not learn how to bake, but
yeah,
I learned a lot of other things. So that's great.
Yeah. It's doing, and actually the bakery is doing really, really well. It's got almost 5-star, like loads and loads of reviews. That is really encouraging, and people are actually cycling to the bakery as a destination. There's literally a hole in the wall of my hotel, which is really funny, because it reminds me of there's a little hole in the wall when I was going to school in Thailand when I was really young. I used to go to the school near the Mandarin Oriental, and there used to be this little hole in the wall of the bakery, and I remember the smell would come out every afternoon. I would come out of school, and I would just go and buy a croissant from there, and I remember with like this memory. It was really, really nice. So then now I have my own hole in the wall.
Wow, there's nothing better than a fresh loaf of bread, I must admit. So well done to that. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Now, what personal values have you got that's important to you? That
I think family is really, really important to me. I think I do everything because I valued my family a lot, my time with them, and I think it translate into what I do for the hotel. My team at the hotel is my family, my extended family. The time that I spend with my family is really important, and so therefore, is with this kind of understanding, I create the hotel. Because to me, our hotel is a big blank canvas, so that you can spend your most precious time with your loved one and your family, and that's where we create all the little things that is inside the hotel, so that you can have that special time with the people you love. I think persistency is probably the other one. I think that everything will be better in the end. I think that's probably the thing that really get us through the last 2 years, and we've come out. ahead. And one of my senior team member, which I really, really love, it's how you bring your team with you. It's, yeah, no, it's great.
What tips do you have? Because challenges can be very tough, and the last COVID was definitely a very tough one for a lot of us, right? What advice do you have, talking about persistency, when you probably feel like, I just want to give up, it's just too hard, everything is too hard, and you're just feeling it's just eating you up inside because nothing seems to be working your way? What advice do you have?
First of all, you have to be doing something that you love. That's the underlying basis. And I changed my work from working for a big company in finance to come to do a hotel, a travel related work. And I don't think that I would be able to get through all of this if I wasn't doing something that I love to do. And so then it doesn't feel like work. And once it doesn't feel like work, you're just doing the stuff that you know in your heart that is right. It comes from within, and then it you know that somehow.
I am a true believer in loving what you do.
And you're excited about the things that you're launching, and the creativity comes because you're doing something that you love.
Yeah, exactly. And I truly believe if you're really passionate about it, tough times will come and go, but that passion will carry you through because you love it that much. You'll find a solution. You'll find a way for it to work.
One of probably the biggest job as the leader of an organization is, how do you get your team to be excited about what they're doing? Knowing that it's important. Yeah. They're making a difference.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for that to happen, you also need to be very excited, right?
You have to be convinced.
Yeah.
You got to believe in it yourself. So
yeah. Now, you're not only a managing director of the hotel group, you're also a board member of the small luxury hotels. Yeah. And you're the first female board member and first female chairperson for 3 consecutive years. Yeah. Talk to us about that, Shia. How did that happen? How did you get a seat at that table?
Well, I remember really, really clearly. It was another lady, amazing lady. Her name is Lynn Arlen, this Australian lady who was at the time the vice president of sales and marketing for small luxury hotels. And I was one of the hoteliers. We met in a conference, and she said, "Oh, Anchalika, you should apply for the board." And I'm like, I didn't even know what that was. And she goes, we need a voice of an Asian person, an Asian hotelier, and we need a woman there. And I honestly didn't know what I was getting myself into, but being Asian and women, going to school in the US and start working for a US company, I'm really used to being the one that tip all the scales and tick all the boxes, all the minority boxes. You need one of me, and then we are good for all the quotas. So I was just like, okay, I would be interesting, for me to join the board was a great way for me to learn about hotels, about services, about hoteliers, about, from all these really people with a lot of passions who own small luxury hotels all over the world. And for me to be associated with them, learn from them, was a great opportunity. So I decided to run for the election, and lo and behold, I was elected. And that was almost 17 years ago. And I've been reelected every 3 years ever since. And I've been, for many, many number of years, I've been the only female on the board. Until today, I'm the only Asian on the board. And I was, because small luxury hotels of the world supposed to be of the world. I think, and the reason why I couldn't really step down is because I think that it needs a voice of an Asian hotelier, because the way we sell our product is completely different from the way they sell hotels in England or in France or in the US. It's completely different way of booking, distribution. So unless you have somebody from over here kind of pulling their tails back and say, hey, don't forget this. A lot of time is a little bit too Anglophile. But now, 16 years later, we have a great new owner. The ownership has changed, and actually the structure has changed as well. And there's a new energy that is being built within this organization, which I'm really excited to be a part of still, and excited to see. Yeah.
What has been your biggest challenge sitting on the board?
As with any organization, there's a lot of different interest group and fractions in the board, and for me to learn to navigate that. And I'm sure it's the same everywhere. It's not just this, it's not unique to this particular board, but everybody is thinking of, and that's the way a board of directors is supposed to be. Everybody's supposed to be kind of like representing their own constituency and protect those. So there's a lot of negotiation, understanding from other people's point of view, and so on and so forth. So that's a great learning curve for me, and it's a bit of a challenge because I need to learn to understand all the other board members who are from all corners of the globe. And you have the French and the Italians, and then the Argentinians, and then the English, and then the Americans, and then the Mexicans. So it's a really international board, and the way people think are not the same. But I'm also used to being outspoken. I'm not shy in making my voices heard, just because I was brought up in Texas, of all places, and worked for a long time in an American environment. So you don't grow or get ahead or go places if you don't know how to assert yourself positively and in the right way.
Now, I read a little bit about your passion for sustainability and the Pure Blue Foundation.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the foundation that I started when we first built our first hotel, because I didn't want to be part of the problem when I go into these beautiful places to make a living. And I want to be part of the solution, or at least be part of the protecting solution. And so then I found this foundation, which I named Pure Blue, because I didn't want to call it IWTA or AKARYN Hotel Group Foundation, because I want it to be something that everybody can do together. Other hotels near me can feel like they can join us, because it's not my beach, it's not my water, it's not my ocean, it's ours. And if we protect it together, we can make a living longer. We can protect it for our children. When I talk about this foundation, I usually try to make it in such a way that people around me can actually understand and can actually participate. And, you know, for a lot of people in the rural area in Thailand, they don't really think about the turtles in the sea, or they're not thinking about oil spill or garbage in the sea, because that's not their first and top priority. So the way that I talk to people is, if we protect this, you and I were making a living from this. If you protect this, we have a better way of making a living further into the future. So let's do this together. Yeah.
And do hotels, do they become members of this foundation?
I have, you know, there are hotels that have donated over the years, but we don't have a membership per se. We're just doing events, and then hotels around us participate. For example, we do beach cleaning and everybody helps. Over the years, we have raised enough money to work on coral reefs in Samui. We protect marine turtles from injuries, and have been supporting the research foundation in Panga to protect them and repopulate them. We work with the local communities and local schools to provide knowledge to children. I don't want to use the word teach, because that's not our mandate, but make people understand about the single-use plastic. So because of the drive for single-use plastic-free environment, all of our hotels within the group has gone single-use plastic-free since 2008. So we worked with the local communities to work with the children to stop using throwaway plastic. I don't believe in stop using plastic completely, because, you know, it's a great material, a very durable material if you know how to use it wisely. So you don't just throw it, use it once and throw it, because you can use it over and over and over again, and then it becomes sustainable and economical. So I'm more against the things that you use once and you throw away. So the newest thing that we're doing now is we're launching a triathlon in Panga under Blue Foundation. And it's going to be the first single-use plastic-free triathlon in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be May 3rd to 5th. Yeah. And we hope to get between 700 to 1,000 people to join us from all over the world. We're sponsoring 10.
Are you competing yourself?
I can't do all three of them. I'm thinking my kids are going to be doing it. My partner is doing it. Yeah. I'm terrible at cycling. I'm probably going to be doing one of the events, but not all three.
Now you have so many great stories and words of wisdom. What's your recipe for success? What do you think? What attributes would be?
I don't know if mine is a very successful story. I just think that I think that the best thing in life is to find what you love to do and do it. And then when you are lucky enough to have found that, then I think you'll be successful, because you'll be happy when you do it. You know, because success is not always measured by the amount of money you make. You know, there's a study that says up to a point, you know, you obviously have to have a certain standard of living to be happy, but up to a point, the difference between, you know, 1 million and 1 billion is not that much anymore. You know, how many cars can you own? And after the first one, you're not that happy about the second and the third and the fourth. So I think that if you find something that you love to do, happy about doing it, I think you'll be successful in the things that you do.
Good advice. Good advice. Well, thank you so much, Anchalika, for sharing your story with us today. So many pearls of wisdom right there. And all the best for planning the triathlon in May. Who knows? I might compete. No, but I might see you there. And
yeah, I'd love to see you there.
And thank you so much for participating in the IWTA series. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Bye.